Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. Welcome to West Ham United 1895. Nice to see my two buddies on there. Martin with my favourite shirt for this season. Stu's got one on as well. What was your favourite colour when you used to wear the shirts? I must admit, I've always liked the white tops.
My favourite one was the light blue with the two claret hoops.
I've got to say, I did like the 64, the 65 Cup Winners' Cup one. Long sleeve, round neck. I got that a while ago, but it come out miles too big. What's your favourite top, Martin?
I like the white avocado one.
Yeah, the one we won the cup final in, the Admiral one.
82.
In, 80 was a nice one. Yeah, I do like a white top, and I like the black ones as well. As like Stu said, that was our first colours.
That was our original colour, wasn't it? Black. So
yeah, I do like a black top. I think they do. Right, boys, we finished off our last show talking about all the good things. What would happen if Amanda Staveley come in? Literally, we released the show, and about half hour after we released it, it comes out that Vanessa Gold has accepted a bid from the Amanda Staveley to buy out. Now, we don't know if it's with the Camel Jockeys from the PIF Saudi fund, or we don't know whether it's from JP Morgan and some investment funds coming from America, where the money's coming from.
That's what it is. Fucking Yanks.
Yeah, the last people we want here. But anyway, so what they've done is basically they've gazumped Kretinsky from the season we've started of Swinging of Roses, like Marty says. You know, Will thought it was good news and great news around the club, but last one person's going to bring some serenity to the club. And it turns out that Kretinsky thinks he's been gazumped. Now, we all know that Kretinsky put on a power play with Sullivan early on in the season, so they don't like each other. And now, if Staveley does get around on this 25% of the Vanessa Gold shares, they won't get on with Kretinsky. I mean, you couldn't write a book about West Ham and all the shenanigans that go on around. I'm going to see the Cirque du Soleil on Saturday. Well, I was. I don't know if they let wheelchairs in there. And but I think the Cirque du Soleil will call this. It just is mind-boggling that every time we have what we think is a good bit of news, it goes the other way. It's like a giant roller coaster, isn't it, being a West Ham fan? Yeah. Martin, what's your take on all this with Kretinsky and Staveley?
Oh man, I know he had an agreement in place with Vanessa Gold, but the reality is she got offered better money. So I can't really blame her for wanting more money. But now it's down to all of these people to decide whether they want to fork out the money that she's been offering to take up these shares. It's going to take up to 2 months for this to be decided, which for me is 2 months too late. We're in trouble financially.
Yeah.
We know that there's possible sanctions that are going to be going ahead. So, I mean, I'm clueless as to what's going to happen at the moment. It's put a cloud over how our season's going to go. We are already questioning what's happening with regards to any business that's going to be made. Potts is on his way out allegedly. I checked the website before I come on, and there's still nothing on there. But it's worrying for me. Some people talking about hostile takeovers. Only at West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, before I go to you, Stu, I also think what we're not looking into with this is if there is unrest in the boardroom and we don't know now if these debts are going to be paid off, no one's going to want to come, Stu, if we end up with a 20, 30-point deduction. People's going to want a bit of clarity and hold on. Before I sign for you, there's rumours now that Diassi has got the option to come to us. It's all been finalised, but he wants to wait 2 weeks to see if he gets any offers. But to get interest, Stu, from people coming in, people ain't just going to want to come if we're going to start the season with a points deduction, are they?
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. Like I said to you off here, at the end of the season, when Sullivan was ousted as the sicko that he is, I thought, brilliant, fucking great. That little cunt's gone. Kretinsky's coming in. He's going to do the business. You know what I mean? Yes, I know he's just an investor. but I thought he's going to invest, and then he will sell the club on for a profit, blah, 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 blah. I knew he weren't going to be in it for the long haul, and I was really looking optimistic for the season. I said I could see us winning it, but I think my mind now is going back to where it was a few months ago when I said to you when the season was still on, we will get relegated again out the Championship, and we will end up being another Sheffield Wednesday, which I can see it happening, mate. Because if the debt isn't paid by the start of the season, we're in big fucking doo-doo. Literally.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Stu. But listen, it doesn't matter whichever, even if it's just a football company or it's a limited company somewhere else. Buyouts and takeovers, they're not normally, a good thing. There's always arguments, and then it's never good, because other people. Now, Kretinsky, when he bought his shares, he's 27%. He was told by Sullivan and Vanessa Gold that if he wanted to buy more shares, he would have to buy at the price he bought in at. Now, at the time, we was obviously a Premier League club, but as far as I was concerned, that was the figure. We're not going to go into what we know the figure is, but that was his choice. Now, in principle, we had an agreement with Vanessa Gold. We don't know if it was to take on all of her shares, because if he took on all the 25, it would put him on 52%, and then it would have to trigger a takeover. He would have to look into taking over the whole club. But if he wanted to become the majority shareholder, he had to have more than Sullivan. And allegedly, he had a verbal agreement with Vanessa Gold. Now, I don't think you can hold anything against the Golds. The dad left them shares for them as, their future. We know their business is. We know what they sell, and I'm sure Stu's going to mention it in a minute. I'm quite sure he will, and what their products are. But you can't blame them, really, for taking the higher figure. But in saying that, in place is an agreement that she wants to sell them shares, Sullivan or Kretinsky must match that figure if they want to buy them 25%. And then she has to sell to price shareholders. It could be split. They could all split amongst any of the shareholders. They've got the option to buy them first. If they don't want to pay the money, what Amanda Staveley and her group has come in, then it looks like they will be sold to Amanda Staveley.
Yeah. I know. Yes, you can't blame her because she wants to get more bang for her buck, so to speak. But as I said to you off air, at the end of the day, I blame the Golds, Sullivan, and Brady for what all we're going through now. They lied to us when they took over the club in the beginning. They done nothing but lie to us from the fucking beginning. They lied to us over the London Stadium when they fucking robbed us of our fucking home and made us homeless. Might as well be fucking destitute and live on the fucking street. You know what I mean? I'll blame them. They are to fucking blame. I'd rather I know it's not the old man, it's his fucking family, but I'd rather Sullivan and the Golds got rid of all their shares and fucked off over the hill, pissed off, never to be heard of again. Vanessa can sit there and play with her fucking dildos, try them out for ready for rain summers, and Sullivan, he can fucking sit there fucking with his love beads up his arse, can't he? Wanking over pictures of kids, you know what I mean? So I've had a fucking gutful of it, mate. I've had a gutful of it. We are being treated like fucking idiots. They are treating the fans, well, we're not fans. They don't want fans. They want clients. That's what they want.
Yeah, we agree that. I think that's the way it's gone, Stu. I actually think you're blaming Gold and Sullivan, yes, for the move, but I also blame the Premier League for what they did. No, but also the Premier League. What happened with the Premier League? When the Premier League come in, a lot changed, and there was so much money in it. Hence, we keep saying we're going to do this program on why we're getting many people from America investment funds. But if investment funds buy into West Ham, they want that money to put in because they're playing with people's pension funds, basically, and hedge funds. They're going to want money back. They're going to want a return on that money. Now, we know our old friend Brooksy has put something up. I just want to put this to bed, that Staveley wants to do it under the same system the leverage system, which the Glazers use to buy Man United. Now, just very briefly, if people don't know about Man United, the Glazers come in. Man United hypothetically were valued at 800 million. And the Glazers, you could borrow 75% of the value. Let's make it easy. Let's say it was 100 million. They borrow 750 million, and they put 250 with them and their partners. But then they bought Man United for themselves with Man United's debt. So Man United got lumbered for the debt. Now, Brooksy said earlier on that Amanda Staley would like to do something like that. They can't do that no more. That got changed. The government changed the rules. It was called the leverage system. In the EFL, it's 65%. You can buy 65% of debt, but you can't lump that debt on the club. You can't, the club can't buy itself, but you own the shares basically, and they've got to put 35% in. But believe it or not, it's a lot more stricter. In the EFL, they can look into who's buying in, who's coming in, whether they think they're suitable owners for a football club, and whether they've got the best interest of the football club at heart. I think that we only worry about that part as if Staveley eventually goes in for a buyout, which I say you need to get 51% of that. My main concern is now, I mean, I know we've said this the other day, but, you know, I did feel good for just for one season, just for one, you know, we went through 4 managers in just over a year. I just wanted, like, to look forward to this summer and not what, like Martin said the other day, don't talk about the boardroom. Years ago, when we went on the terraces, you know, West Side it was for me. Stu was in the South Bank throwing darts at all the away fans. Where did you used to go, Martin?
Burger stand.
Where was that?
The burger stand.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Everywhere, mate. Everywhere.
Whether you could get in for nothing normally, weren't it? Or you could just either go under the turnstiles or get 2 or 3 in the turnstiles if you got the right bloke on the door. I always remember the News of the World. It was a crap newspaper, by the way, for anyone that don't remember it. It was a Sunday. But they'd always talk about the game. And at the bottom, they would put the attendance, and they'd put over West Ham, there was 23. Yeah, of course, there was 23,000. Yeah. Along with the other 7,000 fans that got in what the owners took the money for. But I do think if Staveley comes in, we know that Sullivan and Kretinsky don't get on, right? If Staveley comes in, then we're going to know that Kretinsky he's going to have the up to the 9s with Staveley. That is rumours as it. He ain't got the money to pay what they want to pay. It's none of our business. What I'm trying to get at again is, for God's sake, like someone come out and just make some statements and go, look, this money will be paid. Sorry about the dogs, guys. This money will be paid, the debt we owe. We will not start the season on a points deduction. If it needs to be paid, and hypothetically it was going to be paid by Kretinsky, it was going to be a loan. But whatever happens, you know, and if it weren't paid as a loan, then the other shareholders would have had to be diluted if Kretinsky put it in and wanted his, you know, and wanted more shares. I just want them to come out and say that, so we can start this season knowing we're going in no points deduction. No worries, no boardroom wars going on, which is just going to unsettle the club, Martin. Do you think we're ever going to have peace around this club, Martin, since we've left? It just seems to have been bad news after bad news. Other than Prague, everything's just been crap, hasn't it?
Yeah, essentially. You know, it's like a shitty soap opera, isn't it? It's fucking El Dorado. It's crap.
Yeah.
I've had a cupful of it, mate. You know, us fans, all we want to do is watch our boys play. You know, we want to watch our boys play, see them put in a decent performance, something that we're proud of. I don't want to worry about what's happening. You know, and I've said it before. These Mongolian spunk trumpets that are running our fucking club, they're the fuckers that have got us into this problem.
Yeah, exactly.
They should be the fuckers that are getting us out of it. You know, they're the ones that have got us to where we are. So, you know, talking about injecting fucking money in, well, it's your fucking fault that we're in this situation in the first place. Show some accountability and sort it out.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Sullivan's been very quiet. We all know what went on, you know, with the we're not going over it, the panorama of growing back. I've said all along, he's not going anywhere, you know, he's got his 40%, and when we buy players, he's going to want his little bit of crypto cut here and there, and some money put in an account here and in an offshore, allegedly. But he's not going away, and until someone does trigger that 51%, I think we're just going to have this merry-go-round, Martin. I really do. And I just don't think it brings any. I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to think of. If you look at all the podcasts, you know, I'm one of those people that can't get enough about West Ham, you know, and I'd come home, you know, I watched Still, you know, I watched that West Ham way, I watched Jay on that West Ham channel, and I like, but whenever I put them on, it's still negative. Like, and I'm watching them for 5 minutes, I turn them off. Because it's just like you said, you know, I've got enough going on in my life without negativity. But like I've said to you before, I had this argument, you know, I said about Stu, and Stu asked me why I left a certain group last year. I said, I can't do with the negativity anymore. West Ham's my family. West Ham's been my family since 1967. And I want West Ham to do well. You know, I'm not even bothered about us winning anything. I was quite happy to go over there, have a laugh with my mates, you know what I mean? Have a bit of great banter with the away fans, do you know what I mean? Which apparently is still really good in the Championship. We've got a video coming out soon which says about the banter. I just want some good times to come back again, Stuart. And I'm not talking about winning things. I'm talking about the West Ham family that we had when we used to go over Upton Park. I know we haven't got it Upton Park, Stu. We've got to have it over the Solars Bowl. But we want that back again, Stu.
I totally agree with you. I long for them days, mate. You know, as Pup says, but I don't want to know about the ballroom. I don't want to know about none of that crap. I long for the days when the only time you found anything out about West Ham was it was on the back of the Current Bun or the Mirror or you on CFAX or Teletext. You know what I mean? You didn't know all this shit that was going on. You know, because so you just concentrated on the football, on the players, on the team. Yes, did we win all the time? No, we fucking didn't. No, we didn't. But we used to come away still fucking happy because we'd seen the boys come out on the park and put in a fucking shift. Put in a shift. Win or lose, they put in a shift. And that's what I want to see. I'm not interested in all this crap that's going on behind the scenes. Fuck's sake, why can't somebody just come in and buy the bloody club? Buy the club.
I agree.
There's people out there that are rolling in fucking dough, rolling in dough. I'll tell you, I know it's controversial. I'd even take fucking Arabs, mate. I'd even take the fucking Saudis or Kuwaitis, whoever, to buy the fucking club if they were going to invest in the club and try and turn West Ham around. Maybe try and facilitate buying the London Stadium off of fucking the LLDC, GBT, whatever they call it, fucking self. You know what I mean? And then just do something with it. I'm fed up to the eyeballs of it, mate. Fed up to the eyeballs of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Stuart, I'm Martin here. In Germany, the fans own 50% of the club. Would you ever like to see that sort of thing being brought in over here, Martin?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I mean, if fans own 50% of the club, I mean, it depends on what that gives you.
It's like that in Holland as well, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't be averse about it, you know, but you know, it's a fucking business nowadays. The rich want to stay rich and the poor stay fucking poor, don't they? So
yeah,
I don't know. I can't see.
I agree. No, I can't see it ever coming in because I don't see how the finances work with it, Martin. You know, when we need to pay this, when we pay that, how many members do you have? How many fans? You know, have you got 50,000 fans? I don't know. Boys, let's bring a bit of happiness to the ground. I played at a wedding. My son plays the saxophone, and I just want to talk about some songs for, you know, me and Stuart have been talking about ex-managers off there. And, you know, when you go somewhere, you know, someone starts singing something, don't they? You just think, how do football fans make them songs up so quick, don't you? I remember when we beat Norway, and I see a clip, England beat Norway, saw it. And you know the song, It's Coming Home. And they put, Norway's rowing home, they're rowing home, because they was doing the rowing. I thought, and that's so funny. It was so clever. Like, and my mind started going back to the Upton Park days. And when we'd go somewhere, you know, you'd hear someone start singing a song. You might only sing 3 or 4 people sing. Within 2 or 3 weeks, it used to go round the ground. I remember when Man United fans had the Ooh Cantona song, didn't they? But we had D-I-Can-E-O, D-I-Can-E-O. Do you remember? One of my favourites was You are my West Ham, my only West Ham. Make me happy. But then the second verse, we'd go, la, 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 la. And then just times like that, they've made me smile. But going back to this wedding, I'm always digressing. My son done a solo on Stuart Seen It, doing that Free From Desire. And I forgot, then I'm at this wedding, I'm starting singing boyz on Fire. Like, I didn't sing He's Shaking Daddy Dyer, but I nearly sang it at the wedding. Did you have some great memories of some great songs, Martin, that you loved over there?
Well, yeah. I mean, my favourite song was the Ludo song. You know, I used to love singing that. What a man that guy was. But yeah, you know, I can remember people singing like, you know, the Spandau Ballet thing about Carlton Cole.
Cole.
Yeah. But I think the favourite one, or one of my favourite ones, I mean, it's, you know, he was just a baller, an absolute baller, was, you know, the song we sung about Payet.
Yeah. Oh, mate, yeah.
We got Payet.
Yeah.
Mate, there is a video of us at Norwich, right, at an away game, right, and they're all round the bar. I don't know whether it's the start of the second half or it's start, and they're all on each other's shoulders. I'll send it to you later. I wish I could have got it on now. And they start singing it. And then they kept on and on. Do you remember I mean, who can forget the Nottingham Forest semi-final with Billy Bonds' Clattenburg Army? The whole game. The Forest fans were just standing in awe, didn't they? They just couldn't work out.
I remember doing that at Pompey years ago, down at Fratton Park, when Harry Redknapp was in charge. And we're all singing Harry Redknapp's Clattenburg Army. And that went on fucking almost the whole game. Almost the whole game. Yeah.
I remember an old one, Stu. Like it was when my early West Ham band. I don't remember it. It was no relegation for the claret and blue, just celebration for claret and blue. When the crowd is roaring and the Hammers are scoring. Do you remember that one, Stu? That was in my early days. Yeah.
Briefly, mate. Yeah, like I say, that them sort of songs are gone now, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's back in 1991.
YouTube, Norwich away. Yeah. Mate, at one point we used to sing Bubbles to the German national anthem. Do you remember when it was the 80s when all the skinheads come in with the NF? Do you remember that? You know what I mean? Tune of the German national anthem, but we did have some great. Is it just funny? I mean, did you remember the one they started singing going to the Conference League final when they started singing about I sold my car to Lucas Paquetá, and then they put it to the Madness song, didn't they?
Yeah.
I went to Maswelio, bought a car from Brazil. Yeah, that was a great song. I love my car to Lucas Paquetá. Guys, I'll tell you what West Ham meant to everybody from years ago, and we spoke about this briefly off it. By the way, guys, if you've got any songs, please put them on here, you know, and tell us your favourite songs. It's just there's so many different ones you can't remember. Which Stuart was talking about, we was a family club. Right originally, we was a family club. From 1901, when Mr. Sid King was our first manager, in 638 games, he stayed there 31 years as the manager, really. Sadly, we didn't see him play. Between him and John Lyall in 1961, we had 4 managers in our history from 1901 to 1974.
Yeah.
I mean, all them years, 73. Like that's why it was a family club.
Yeah,
you know. I will remember these: Charlie Painter, 32 to 50, 480 games; Ted Fenton, 50 to 61, 483; Ron Greenwood, 61 to 74, 613 games; Johnny Lyall, 74 to 89, 15 years, 708. Mr. Lou Macari. Can anybody tell us why Mr. Lou Macari lasted longer? Do you remember that guy off Ratners? Do you remember him, Martin, when he was on a TV programme and he says, why is your jewellery so cheap? And he went, because it lasts as long as an ham sandwich on an intercity train did. And it blew his business overnight. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Overnight. And that's what happened to Lou Macari. So Lou Macari was there from 89 to 90, 33 games. Then we had Sibylle, 90 to 94, 227. Then we had who stabbed him in the back. 94 2001, Harry 327. Glenn Rodler, God bless his soul, sadly passed away 2001 to 2003, 86 games. Pardew got us to a final. We should have really won that, shouldn't we?
We'll play off winners, won't we?
Yeah, I always remember we had. Do you remember? Was it Jimmy Flowers? Was Jimmy was the reserve goalkeeper? What was his name? Jimmy.
Walker.
He said he should.
Walker.
Jimmy Walker.
Jimmy
He should
Walker.
have played because that was his strong position when I'm thinking of Tim Flowers. That when he come on and shot. What was his name? Can't stand him. The Liverpool bloke, Gerrard. You know, he come and scored that goal, and he said I would have saved that without a doubt. That was my strong position. But so then we had Rhoda, no Pardew, wasn't it? Then we had Curbs 06 to 08. He lost the dressing room, didn't he? If you listen to an Anton Ferdinand, they said, we're not taking any notice of you. We're going out on the pitch and we're going to play the football we do, which was quite sad because we got him from Charlton and he was the manager of Charlton in the Premier League, wasn't he? In the top league, anyway. Then we had 2008, 2010. Martin, you liked Gianfranco Zola, didn't you?
I did like Franco Zola. Yeah. He was just a magician. I used to love watching him play as well. And some of the times when seeing him live, and I mean Julian Diggs, I love Julian Diggs, but he embarrassed him. And when he came in as manager for us, I thought he did all right. I really did. I thought he did all right. We were playing half decent football.
He wasn't given enough time, was he?
No. So you know, it was a shame that it didn't work out, but. There was a story about, we were struggling for players and Mark Noble, like I said to him, any danger of you putting your boots on because you're putting half of these to fucking shame. But he didn't do it. So, that would have been interesting if he did do. But Franco, yeah, I like Franco.
Yeah, I mean, he was brilliant. I mean, the next bloke come in. I mean, I don't know how he got the Chelsea job and why he got the job at our place. I never understood Avram Grant.
He won the Champions League with Chelsea, didn't he, Grant?
No, he didn't win with the Champions League, did he? What was his name? I can't think of his name.
He did. I thought he won something.
Was it Petrescu? Was it Dan Petrescu?
I thought he won something with the Rent Boys. I'm sure he did.
But, mate, I'm not being funny. He had about as much going. You know when someone sits on the sidelines and that? He had that silly grin, didn't he? And he just didn't have nothing about him, Avram Grant. And he had nothing for me at our place. He'd done 2010 to 2011, 47 games. I liked Big Sam. I thought he didn't do too bad for us. But for whatever reasons, he never got any contact, any sort of, it didn't happen with the fans, did it? They seemed to be having a go at him and he'd be quite happy to stick a finger back at them and start laughing at him.
They're doing all that, didn't he, to the crowd things,
Do you remember that Aston Villa player who fell over and made out he got fouled? And Big Sam pointed at him and started going, like in his face.
That was that fucking Flores, weren't it?
I remember his name. And he got up and he wanted to have a go at Sam, didn't he? And he went, well, come on in. Let's have it, and he never went and done it. You remember the game, though? He just started laughing at him.
Yeah. He stood right on the fucking sideline and rolling up laughing at him.
Yeah, he's fun. I like Sam. I've got to say, and I thought he brought a bit of stability to the team.
Wasn't that against Swansea?
I thought it was a Villa team for some unknown reason. I've got a claret and blue top. I'll get it up for you in a minute and we'll work it out. After Allardyce, we had Mr. Bilic. I thought that was the last time we played what I call I-press, tried to play attacking football. And who can forget the last night at the Boleyn with the football we played, didn't we? Went down to Man United. I've got to be honest. I think if it weren't the last night at the Boleyn, I don't think that game I think it gets cancelled because the fans smashed all the windows of the Man United coach. Yeah. They all video itself hiding and all glass going on them, didn't they? And Lingard published it. Do you remember he put it on? I'm surprised that game went away. But yeah, Bilic. Did you like Bilic, Joe?
Definitely, yeah. I was gutted when he was given the tin tack after that, after the first year in the fucking Soulless Bowl. He wasn't given enough time. He was. We
did lose to Astragugu, Stu, Romanian farmers.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the first time we'd lost to teams like that. You know what I mean?
We lost to them twice, didn't we?
First time under Redneck, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. I think they care something. Then we got Mr. Moyes' first stint. Like Stu said, he didn't do that great, but he did 31 games in his first stint. Then we had Mr. Pellegrini, who, and I've got to say, and I don't really like Sullivan, but they really did back Pellegrini, and they did spend nearly £500 million when he came in, Pellegrini, between 2018, 2019, 64. When he first brought that Philip Anderson come in, I remember him having a screamer of a shot from the left side, and I thought, wow, like Martin said about having a Brazilian player in their team, he never fulfilled his potential, did he, Anderson?
No. But he weren't the only one, was he?
Yeah, I think we took a massive hit on him as well. And then we got Mr. Moyes come back again, who had the best win rate, by the way, guys. If you're a stat person of managers, it is Mr. Moyes, 2019 to 24.
That player, his name was Chico Flores, and he played for Swansea City.
Chico Flores, that was it, yeah. Chico Flores. I must work out how to get the video up on here because I think it's absolutely hilarious.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. And then we had Mr. Lopetegui, which, I think Moyes was the start of the downfall, wasn't it, with the football we've played. And, when you see, like, they played the Death March, I think they should play that instead of Bubbles at the moment because that's the football that we've been entitled to at the moment. Lopetegui, he couldn't change. I don't understand why if something's not working, change the tactics. And I also think there's a lot of that's down to the captain. The captain should go, wait a minute, we're getting wiped out on one side, we're getting wiped out down. You've got to do something. And Lopetegui, it just didn't work for him, did he? I mean, he actually cried to Sullivan not to sack him, didn't he? He actually went and cried because his dad was very, very ill, weren't he? And he said, don't sack me now. My dad's seriously ill. But we know he went after 22 games. Why we brought in Potter, I have no idea. He had 24 games. And then he went.
Because he was a friend of fucking Brady's fucking husband.
You're right. Paul Pesky-Salido's mate, wasn't he?
Well, yeah. Best friends with him. That's how he got the job.
Yeah, I agree. And then we're down to Mr. Nuno. Martin, have you got any favourite managers? I'm going to save you. You can talk to us about Nuno to start this. But who was your favourite manager when you first started going? You know mine. I've told you up there.
Well, when I first started going, it was probably Harry Redknapp was there. He just had something about him. I love listening to. I love the stories that he comes out with. He's the kind of manager that can put an arm around a player. You saw what he did for Di Canio. He was just a good man manager. But my favourite, it has to be Bilic. I loved him as a player. He was a balls and all centre half. Wasn't afraid to go in where and I love Bilic, and he had the same passion for being on the coat on the sideline. So, I think that's the last time I saw decent football being played at this level. Anyway, in my opinion. Obviously, if any of you guys in that think differently, put it in the comments.
Yeah, Stu, who's your favourite?
Well, it'd be John Lyle, really. I suppose he was the one that most games that I attended, I was under Johnny Lyle, because then my life took a different direction in the 90s, So I didn't get to a lot of football through the 90s and through the noughties because of what I was doing, But yeah, John Lyle, yeah, he's my favourite, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to say, for me, he just had something, John Lyle, and Martin was talking about man management, and that's what he had. Not many people know it, but he actually looked after Paul Ince when Paul Ince started playing. He actually took him into his own home, and he said if John Lyle would have stayed, he'd have signed for life. But the day they sacked Lyle, Paul Ince went, I'll never play another game. Because he called him dad, actually. But I was telling the guys up there, talking about songs, and Norwich got second in the league. I can't remember who beat them, but they had a manager called Johnny Bond, and he signed for Man City. And years ago, if you signed a player, the press would get there and someone would do some kick-ups, wouldn't they? I remember someone who played for us, Malcolm Allison, he was a manager at Man City, and he walked on with his long coat on, you know what I mean? It looked like someone out of a Shaft movie. Yeah. And when John Bond went on there, all the City fans started singing, Johnny Bond, Johnny Bond.
He played for us as well, didn't he, John Bond?
Malcolm Allison did, yeah.
No, John Bond did as well, I think you'll find.
Well, I'll have a look into that. I'll look into that now. But all us at West Ham started singing Johnny Lyle. From the next home game, we sung Johnny Lyle. And when you're younger, and you're getting pissed and you're walking home from the pub of a night, for whatever reason, you start singing football songs, didn't you? And like us lot would be coming home singing Johnny Lord. You don't care if you're waking everyone up in bed and someone's got a baby just got them asleep or someone's dog's just stopped barking. What it is for singing football songs coming home, I'll never ever know. But the John Lyle years were really great for me. You know, I've got to say, near the end, a lot of the West Ham fans did turn on it. What was the name of that satirical little book that people used to sell? So I can't remember it. It was a bit like Private Eye.
Overland and Sea? Was it Overland and Sea?
But like the day went on the game after that, they went a tribute to John Lyle. And do you remember at the time there was an AA, the AA who come and get your car, or the RAC? They were the only two at the time, weren't they? And everyone would say, when they did the advert about the AA, they'd go, "He's a very nice man." And I went over and I bought the magazine and it said a tribute. And when I opened it up, all it said was he was a very nice man. I thought that was so disrespectful. Do you know what I mean? I thought it was just because I'll tell you something. When John Lyle was there, we brought through a lot of homegrown players, as like we did with Ron Greenwood. Yes, Tony Carr brought them in, and Tony Carr had two guys for him. He puts all his success down to two Jimmies. I can't remember their names now, but they used to go out and they used to do all the scouting for him, and they brought a lot of the players in. I'm talking about when they was really youth. So for me, it was the John Lyle years. I am like Martin. I really enjoyed the Slaven Bilic years, who's just gone back, by the way, to
Croatia
manager. Yeah, he's just become. It's quite funny because Maldini. Sorry, not Maldini. Who's gone to Italy? I think who's gone to Italy now, but gone right at me. Klopp's gone to Germany. Zidane's gone to France. I'm trying to think who's gone to Italy because Maldini's walked out. Because
I'll tell you what, if Louis watching this now, he'll be screaming at Louis.
Yeah. Speaking of which, boys, we talked about Bobby Moore, and I think this guy deserves a mention because in the 90s, they said that this guy, he was a bit like Bobby Moore. He had no pace really of such, but he absolutely marshalled the defence. And in the 90s, I think they won 3 European Cups on the trot. Sadly, Franco Baresi passed away last week, age 66. And he was an absolute, possibly the best defender that ever lived. And if you see the tributes that have come out to him from the likes of Maldini, in the 94 World Cup, he got injured in the first game and had surgery on his knee. And by 25 days later, he played. And they played a peak Brazil team in the final. Sadly, he did miss a penalty in the final, Franco Baresi, but one of the greatest defenders, along with Bobby Moore, I think, that ever lived.
Yeah.
Right, what you were saying, Dougie, I didn't actually realise that John Lyle, I didn't realise he played for West Ham as well.
They all come through, didn't they? John Lyle was there under Greenwood.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. Italian manager is Roberto Mancini.
Mancini, yeah, he's gone. Maldini's walked because he wanted Pirlo. He was chief of football, but Pirlo's been involved in some betting scandal, and we can't have him in there. They're miles behind. Roberto Baggio wrote a report just before the year 2000, 900-page report, what was wrong with Italian football, and they've not implemented anything of it. But no, I'll tell you what, you did have a great time over there. And we've talked about the burgers, we've talked about the rosettes, we've talked about the silly bloody rattle. Them rattles got on your nerves, didn't they, if someone was behind you? You know, and you'd say, like, mate, do us a favour, stick that in your pocket or give it to your kid and send them down the front. Because kids did them days, used to go in. I don't know why they used to carry in brick boxes or milk crates and turn them upside down and stand on them, didn't they? Do you remember all the kids? They would never. Well, you can't even take a drink into the Soulless Bowl, can you? You buy a drink, you can't take it up there. You got to drink it downstairs. Yeah. I do hope for some good. You know, I always say it wasn't always the glory halcyon days of football at Upton Park, but there was just something that ground had. That brought, it was like a magnet. It took you back there, didn't it? Week in, week out. And I don't want to be horrible about this, and for a lot of women, when we first started going, Sue, there was very few and far between the women that went, weren't it?
Yeah, very few. Yeah. It was
the blokes used to sing. If they see a bird, you know what they used to sing, didn't they? Yeah. Get your bits out. It sounded like bits for the lads, but it was a really male-dominated society.
Get your frupnies out, girl. Get your frupnies out. Come on.
You can't say that now, mate. You can't. So somehow or other, if we ever get taken over, if this muddle sorts itself out in the ballroom, if we buy the London Stadium, if we get given it, somehow or other, they need to take a blueprint of Upton Park and go, look, whatever you build, somehow or other, it's got to have this closeness with the fans. It's got to have the silly nets, what was about a foot long, you know.
I think the closeness with the fans is gone, mate. And it ain't just West Ham. It ain't just at West Ham, you know. I think the closeness with fans is slowly but surely dwindling out of top flight football.
It don't have to be though, Stu. It doesn't have to be.
It's going to be because it's all money. You know, and if you want the closeness, you're going to have to drop down a couple of divisions and go and follow Orient or someone like that. Do you know what I mean? That's the only way you're going to get the closeness anymore. You're not going to get it with top flight teams anymore. And
you still got it with Leeds, Stu. Leeds, Portsmouth, they got, you know, good ground. Bournemouth, yeah. Brentford.
Yeah, but look at the size of their grounds.
Look at the noise they make, though, Stu.
Yeah, but look at the size of their grounds.
Yeah, that's not about the fans. That's about the people who's running the clubs.
Yeah.
We get a Jack Walker or a Steve Gibson, someone like that at Middlesbrough. You know, that bloke did put his heart and soul, and he put money into that club. You know, his own money, as did Jack Walker. Michael Tabor, you know, he's got a lot of racehorses, and like he was interested. There was rumours he was going to enter. You know, we're now finding out that there was plans to make the stadium 55,000 at Upton Park. We sold it for silly money, didn't we? Ran about 40 million, and I think it's made. They've sold all the properties around about 400 million. So that should never have happened. You know, we should have also got a cut of that. You know, yeah, you're going to build on that, but we want some income from that as well. Yeah. It just was a bad deal. Looking at it logically, great deal. We've got given this big stadium. Although it's a crap stadium, we've got given it a 99-year lease. But there comes the problem. We're going to go back and finish this show as we started it. To attract any decent investor, what have we got?
Nothing.
What have they got that can guarantee their money back? No, nothing.
All we got is playing staff, and that's it.
Advertising rights, TV rights. That's it.
You ain't going to have much TV rights if you're playing shit football and you're dropping down the leagues. You know, the TV companies are soon going to say, fuck them, we ain't going there no more. Do you know what I mean?
I just think we need to go back, Stu. Like we said with Greenwood Law, we did bring kids through. And who don't love someone coming through? You know, Spurs used to sing He's One of Our Own, where he came. We could have sung that years ago. You know, I mean, we had, I'm telling you, the 2010 World Cup, we said this before, we had 10 players that come through our academy system. Joe Cole, weren't it? Lampard, Carrick, Rio, Glenn Johnson. John Terry come through our academy system, by the way, at Chelsea.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, they're players we've let go. But that's what we need. We do. And that's what I'm saying. If we get the right people in and the right infrastructure, then we can bring the players through. Get them, whoever the manager is, say, right, the teams underneath, they play the same football. So if we need someone, you can come through.
It's not going to happen, though, mate, is it? I mean, look at now what's happened recently. Potts is gone at the flog Potts, and they've kept fucking Will Prowse. It just doesn't compute, you know. Potts is a championship proven. Plus, he's on a damn sight less money, as I said before on the last show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's younger, fitter. Plus, he come through our system, and he's West Ham. His dad's West Ham. You know, I just don't. I
just remember that name of that player, Stu, who we were talking about, who would be he's been player of the season at Southampton since we let him go. Flynn Downs. That's the one. Yeah. He could have been an absolute monster in midfield because he likes getting stuck in. He does. Mm. And Southampton, they voted him player of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I like all that, but you would get people out there whinging and whining because he gets booked and occasionally gets sent off.
So what if they get booked? We used to love, like, do you remember?
Yeah, mate, I know this. I've had this whole argument. Not, you know, I'm not going to say people because I going to do that. But there's channels out there when Alvarez was getting sent off and he's fucking sick. Get rid of him. Whoa. And my argument was, hold on. At West Ham, we love a player like that that's going to get stuck in. He ain't going to take no prisoners. He's going to kick the crap out of someone. Yes, he's going to get sent off every now and again. But you put up with that because when he's up there playing, he puts on that shirt and he gives you 110%.
Drew, going back to Upton Park, if two players went in for a 50-50, and I'm not just talking about West Ham with another player, en masse, like 30,000 people just go, oh, didn't they? Because you could hear it, couldn't you? When they broke, you heard that crack. It's quite funny how people do it at the same time, isn't it?
It's a shame I can't get it up on here because I'm not technically minded. But Brooks, he put on you said it, Martin, he's put on a post on the Brethren page. It's from back in the 70s. It's Norman Hunter and Franny Lee. Hell, mate. Hunter gives him what you watch it after this. He gives him one hell of a right hook. And mate, it's just mayhem. Franny Lee's windmill in there, punching one. And everybody gets involved.
Leeds Derby, that was, mate.
And I'll tell you what, Dougie, yeah? All of this criticism that Alvarez got, the people that were whinging and whining because he was getting booked and he was getting red cards, they're also the people that were saying that he's the one that's putting the effort in.
Yeah.
When the other fuckers weren't. So I would much rather see someone putting themselves about, putting in some crunching fucking tackles and trying to fucking get the game under control.
I used to do it about Julian Dix. I mean, I was there the day he stamped on John Spencer's head. Now, he swears blind he didn't do it deliberately. He done that deliberately. He stamped on his head deliberately, And even then, I can remember people whinging and fucking whining about, what are you whinging and whining for? That man, his knees are fucked, but every time he puts on the fucking claret and blue, he gives his whole fucking everything. He gives everything to the fucking fans. You could see him. You'd see him out down the fucking pubs and clubs over a fucking weekend, and he'd talk to you. He wasn't stuck up or he'd fucking talk to you like any normal. But yeah, admittedly, he had that weird old Bristol accent. When I'm a cider drinker, I am. You know what I mean? But
Mike Yarwood on it. Do you remember when he took Jody Morris out, Stu, and walked down the tunnel?
Yeah. Yeah.
These are the reasons why we gravitate to these kind of players. I've said before about Martin Allen.
Yeah, exactly. Mad Dog.
Thomas Retka.
Yeah.
We gravitate towards these players because they give a fuck and they put effort in. Okay, is it frustrating and annoying if they got sent off? Yeah, but I don't see enough of that from our boys.
No, this is what
David Cross, Joe. You remember Crossy? David Cross, we had. He was called Psycho. We used to sing Psycho long before Stuart Pearce was named.
Yeah, he was the original Psycho, wasn't he? Yeah.
Long before, yeah.
I mean, like I said the other day, mate, down in the Championship, after watching how some of our players performed against Rangers when they got tackled, I'm thinking to myself, you need to grow a pair of fucking balls. As Martin would say, get some testicular fortitude. They're rolling around like they've been shot. You can't do that in the Championship. You got to take it on the chin, get up, and say, right, I'm having you in a minute. I'm coming back at you, son. You know what I mean? None of this rolling around. It ain't going to wash in the Championship. It ain't going to wash.
Joe, you've said it about Ron Greenwood time and time again. You can speak of what you like and people can think what the West Ham way was, but Ron Greenwood said the fans will come over. They might always not get the results they want, but they know the players tried their arts out and put in a good display. And Billy Bonds, I read up about Billy Bonds recently. And when he was playing, he said to his dad was a bus driver. And Billy Bonds' dad said to him, when you go out and play there, it's people like me that's having to pay my money. I've got to earn to come over here the weekend. So make sure you put a shift in. And Billy Bonds said, I always used to remember that it was the fans that was manual jobs. Could be any job you're doing, couldn't it? And you just got enough money to go football. And that's why Billy Bonds put the shifts in. Unfortunately, if you don't like players these days and you nick their eyeshadow or like the jokes he used to play, I'm off. This Vinicius Jr. wants to come to Arsenal on 500,000 a week. If Arsenal don't pay him 500,000 a week, he ain't coming. He lives in dream world. Is he worth 500,000 pound a week? No, he ain't. In my eyes, let me tell you.
Of course he ain't.
Yeah, but none of these fucking footballers are worth the money they fucking get.
You're not.
I agree.
When you know how people struggle in society to make life fucking work, these cunts earn a lot of fucking shit. I've purposely been. No, it boils my piss, as Stu would say. Yeah, these fuckers earn a fucking fortune, and it's the loyal fan base that are paying their fucking wages. The least they can do is go out there and put a shift in. So if Billy Bonds' dad said that to him and he took heed of that, fucking fair play. And I'll tell you what, Billy Bonds, what a fucking player. God bless his soul.
Any era, any time, even now, he goes straight in the team as captain, centre back or centre midfield for me, straight on. No problem. Any era, any time. Gentlemen, it's been fascinating, actually, Martin. You did really well on the swearing counter. Like Stuart was way ahead. And then near the end, you come back. I think Stuart beat you by a short head. It could have been a photo finish. I've not added them up. Boys, it's always a pleasure. And do you know what the best thing is, though? Isn't it great to go back down memory lane, even though we never won anything, did we? 75, we won a cup. 80, we won a cup. You know, all right, 70, 75. Yeah, we went back. Unfortunately, I don't remember them days. You know what I mean? 64. Bobby Moore, 64. FA Cup. 65, lifted the Cup Winners' Cup. 66. Lifted the, but do you not think it's great to go back down memory lane? And I just hope the kids who are doing this, I mean, probably you two won't be around when they're around these kids, but wouldn't it be great just for them to have great memories like we did of Upton Park? And we'll always be West Ham, regardless whether it's over the Soulless Bow or not. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Stu, take us out, my brother. Have a great day, guys.
Yeah, have a good day, gentlemen. Take care. Stay safe. Stay lucky, my friends. Come on, you Lions.